yeah, let's just do this now. Yeah, you gave that good clap. That's a good way to start us off.
So one thing about this movie is nobody's got their eyes on the fucking road.
I did, yeah,
the whole time.
When Josh Brolin is doing his little map adventure, I was like, he's just gonna run someone over. He's doing this the whole time, and then one point he's like, he's back to this.
This is the second time I've watched the movie.
This movie, I think, would make a lot more sense, and you'd be able to pick up on it a lot better the second time around.
Yeah. But, like, the more you start to notice it everywhere. My Paul boy, the cop, he's driving, he's staring at James. And then even Alex's dad is like, son, I don't know why she's coming to stay with, like... Anyway.
Yeah.
Not the most important thing, but something that I noticed the second time.
Yeah. That...
But this is your first time, so...
Yes.
Lead the conversation. What do you think?
I guess just starting off with non-spoilery stuff. That was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yay.
It took me a bit to get into, because the structure, I was not prepared for the movie to be structured the way it was.
Oh, really?
No, because we start with the narrator, the intro, title card, Justine.
Yeah, when the first title card popped up for Justine, I heard you go like, oh. And I was like, now he knows it's going to be a POV thing.
That didn't like click into me that, this is something we're going to do until... I guess it's not, so I don't know, maybe it's spoilers to talk about the structure of the movie. That's like saying this spoilers to talk about the title, so I don't know. I guess let's try to keep it broad. I'll kick it over to you. What, on the second watch through of this movie, do you feel like you liked it more, or you just about as good the first time? I mean, unless you liked it less.
Something that I noticed the second time is there's a lot of stuff that, as far as I know, is just in there to be scary. Like, when... I don't know how to talk about this without spoiling it.
So, do you like the movie?
I liked the movie.
Okay.
I liked it the same the second time. I didn't like it more. I was hoping that there would be more stuff that I would go back and be like, aha! But there were only, like, 2 of those moments.
You gotta go see the movie.
It's really good.
Go see the movie.
It's a really good movie.
Okay. So, spoilers. Go. Do the thing.
So, like, Marcus throwing up blood.
Yes.
Or not even blood, just some...
Like bile, magic juice.
And then the fact that they keep having these dreams that are unexplainable. I think that that's just there to fuck with the audience, unless there's, like, a connective tissue that I am not picking up on. What did you think about the whole dream thing?
So, we get Justine. We get Justine's dream. And I was, like, itching at the time when...
You were!
Because I thought, I was like, is this going to be a clown thing?
That's what I thought, too! And then I got out of the theater, and Ian was like, what are you talking about? They were just dressed up like her. And I was like, but you don't know who she is in the beginning. They look like clowns with the red hair. Are you serious?
So, I was confused about the title until... Not Pierce Brosnan. I forgot his name now. Josh Brolin.
Pierce Brosnan.
Probably about not as physical, but I think about the same movie if you swap actors.
You were confused about the title.
So I was confused about the title until Josh Brolin is in a dream sequence.
And
Josh
Matthew.
Brolin is running around, and then Josh Brolin gets to the mystery house, and there was just like a floating smoke rifle, and I was like, okay, so that's a weapon. That's like a Counter-Strike,
because they're weapons,
gun with like a little like stat track thing. That's a reference to like one person. That's not. There's a lot of people with Counter-Strike, but that's like, it's one. So the dream sequence to me wasn't like, oh, this is throwing me off or anything like that, but it wasn't... The movie isn't interested in a mystery for about the first 40%. Okay, so the structure is narrator, in a little intro sequence, Justine
Archer.
Justine Archer.
Paul, James, Marcus.
Marcus,
Alex.
yes.
So that's what, 6 or 7?
Justine, Josh Brolin, Paul, Crackhead.
Okay, that's
Marcus.
another thing. Because I watched a lot of videos about this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody calls him the Crackhead. His name is James. And he doesn't deserve better, but I want him to have better anyway.
Yeah.
I love James.
6 people.
6 people.
But some of what we see, it's not like it's, 20 minutes, 6 people, that's an hour and 20-minute movie.
It was 2 hours and 9 minutes when I bought the tickets.
So, James, his section is pretty short. Paul's section is pretty short. Marcus's section is pretty short. It's basically a lot of Justine, because, she's kind of our, main character. I think that's fair to say. And then it's all right, here's a whole lot of Josh Brolin, here's a whole lot of Archer. And then here's a guy, here's a guy, here's a guy, and now here's the rest of the movie.
Well, and one thing that I really like is the economy of the storytelling. He does not make you watch the same scenes multiple times unless he has, an interesting, new perspective. Zach Krager, the director. Yeah. It would have been so easy for us to watch the entire chase scene from James's perspective, but he's not interested in that. Yeah. We already know what happens. He's interested in the way that James goes from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just here's Justine doing her thing with this cop, and she waves hi, and Paul waves back, and in Paul's scene is, just Paul waving back. It's that kind of stuff. And there is perspective, what character cares about what. Oh, Justine, here's this whole thing at the bar. Paul's like, hey, Justine, can we hug? And then they're just banging.
Which I think is a shame, not a shame exactly. The conversation that they have the first time we see it, between Justine and Paul, is really realistic. I love the dialogue in this movie, and I think the characters are really, really believable and nuanced. Especially Paul. One thing that surprised me is that I was not more sympathetic with him on the second viewing, but I came out of it being just Paul is an asshole the first time, and Paul is an asshole. But also, God, everybody...
He's got a lot going on.
Okay. So, that's getting to something that I think is if there is a main idea in this movie. I don't know if we want to get into it yet.
You can talk about main idea. We're scattershot here. Part of
the reason this is an interesting movie for me in particular to watch is because, as you know, I too work with children, professionally. Yes. I'm a teacher. So watching this for the first time, I was oh, this is my new fear, because that is absolute, you as a teacher would be blamed if this happened.
Josh Brolin will look into your background, he will find out stuff about you, and then he will yell at you in front of a public audience.
And you're gonna look shady as hell, right? Because you're in a position of power over a bunch of kids. And another layer to that, to increase my horror, is she does everything wrong. She's you cannot follow the child home no matter how much you care about them. Because there's so much potential for abuse there, right? And in the theater, the first time I turned to Ian and I whispered to him, this is I'm watching a nightmare of myself, but I'm doing all the wrong things. But anyway, I think if there is a main idea of this movie, a lot of people I saw online were kind of loosely connecting it to school shootings and how in real life things like that
I wonder if that 217 number means something. The Counter-Strike rotating stat track M4 with 217 on it. I was that's gotta mean something, right? You're saying something with 217.
I saw that some people were disappointed that the 217 thing just happened to be the time at which they are, summoned.
Yeah. As opposed to this is the 217th town she's done this in. I don't know.
I want to talk about the character Gladys and her in general too, but I feel I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse.
You can keep talking about Justine. I don't mean to interrupt.
not just about Justine. All of these characters have so much stuff going on in the background that you don't know about. Like, Alex is the obvious one, right? He's dealing with, I mean, it's supernatural, but like really intense neglect and abuse at home. And another thing that I noticed this time is how heavy they make that stupid backpack that he's carrying the whole time.
He's just he's carrying these big cans of soup.
He's this tiny little man, and he's got this giant blue backpack, and it's like strapped over his chest, and like, because he can't tell the truth. Something, and like, that's going on with James, too. He's lying about, I've got a job, I just need money for shoes.
Yeah.
Justine is, suffering from alcoholism. Obviously, Paul is kind of trying to recover from alcoholism, but
he's got a big thing about
he had
AIDS
a bad
or needles
day.
or whatever it is.
Some kind of fear of needles. I like that there's no, hey, I'm afraid of needles. Get that shit away from me. Like, you can just tell by looking at the way he reacts. But something that I think the movie does, maybe unintentionally, or at least, is it validates Justine's feeling that, like, I needed to follow this child home.
Yeah.
Like, somebody needs to be checking up on this kid.
But she kind of gets that out of Marcus. She says she's willing to at least kind of offload that. I like Justine as a protagonist. Like, you don't have a Jeff Winger sort of, I don't want to do anything. I'm just here. I'm so cool. Justine, you understand what she cares about. She cares about her kids. What's her issue? She cares about her kids too much. Also, alcoholism. Also, a whole lot of stuff on the side. But her main thing is she cares about her kids. So when something happens to her kids, she's going to do a whole lot of stuff. She's going to, sneak around people's houses and look into people's windows and then eventually be like, hey there, Marcus, you gotta go take care of this.
And the narrative ends up being like, it sure is a good thing she did that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Marcus, I mean, poor Marcus, dude. But that's like
he didn't get to eat a single one of those hot dogs.
Him and his husband and their child food that they eat with their Minnie and Mickey, like, they are just the most innocent, adorable couple. And then that scene happens, and it's just gut-churning.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much gore. I remembered that there was gore in this movie, but I didn't remember, like, how much.
There's a pretty fair amount.
Like, Marcus, after the car just exploded on the ground.
What are your thoughts on... This is a good movie. There is a lot of product placement in this movie.
Yes.
There is a
100%.
lot of product placement in this movie.
To the point that the first time I watched it, I was like, are they using the barcodes to... Like, is it a hint that they're being hypnotized with barcodes? No, straight up.
No, it's just
there's
like...
Campbell's, there's
here's
Coke,
Hidden Valley Ranch.
There's Kirkland Water. All these cars are here.
I don't even mind that as like, okay...
Not to mention the soup. Right?
It's me. I'm The Sopranos. It's me. I'm Walter White. I do drink real products. I do have real things. But when it's like, hey, we're in a store. Look at all these things.
They just go right past all of these name brands.
Yeah. Hey, is that?
It's distracting.
Malibu back there?
I agree.
Hey, it's me, Gladys. Whoa, Marcus. Are you enjoying Hidden Valley Ranch?
Of vodka will she choose to drown her sorrows after the disastrous meeting with the parents?
Is that Josh Brolin? Is he driving a Ram truck? Well, now I need to buy a Ram truck so I can be cool like Josh Brolin. Like, Barbie had a really egregious, I think it was Chevy, car chase. And that's even like a self-branded movie in like a Lego movie sense. But at least that wasn't the whole time just there was so much product placement in this movie that it kind of took me out of it.
I agree.
Yeah. That's like the one... That's the only thing I can really... Well, we can get into other stuff, but that was one thing when as I was watching, I'm like, this seems kind of weird, just how much stuff there is in here. And I'm guessing it's like... Barbarians is a movie I know. I haven't seen it. I don't think this director is particularly, like... This isn't like a Steven Spielberg or like a Jeff Blumhouse or anything like that.
He's from the whitest kids you know.
Huh. Mm-hmm. So I can see, like, we need help financing this movie. Let's go get Ram trucks. Let's go get Malibu. Let's go get Hidden Valley Ranch.
It's a weird movie to do product placement with, though. every other scene makes you not want to throw up exactly, but it's uncomfortable. This is a movie about child kidnapping.
Yeah, it's got a funky tone. But at the other end, it's like, now these kids are gonna rip this witch apart. That's cool.
Let's talk about the witch.
Okay,
What
Gladys.
do you think is up with Gladys?
Like, what do you mean by that?
One thing that I think is interesting is they don't put a lot of effort into explaining, well, here's where she gets her powers from,
Yeah.
and here's exactly how she's connected to the family.
She just kind of shows up.
How do you interpret her presence in the film? Is she a human being? What is she?
I would say yes, Gladys is a human being, if for no other reason than her entrails looked normal, as humans beings go. The one I'm guessing, we really don't get a lot. We know that Alex's mom has some sort of relationship with Gladys, but I can also see Gladys just being like, oh, you know me, you need to help me, please take me in, oh, what about your mom would have done this, I'm your aunt. So I think she just kind of lied her way in there.
Yeah, we get different, like, obviously, the first time we see her, like, as her own character on the screen is in the scene with Marcus, and she says that she's the older sister of Alex Lilly's mom. And then the story that we get from Alex's dad is that she's like a cousin, and then later we hear them arguing. We don't know her very well. We haven't seen her in 15 years. And the last bit of information we get on that is from Gladys herself. I saw you when you were a little baby. Might be a lie.
Because he's not 15 years old.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right, so definitely a lie.
Yeah. That was my interpretation, that Gladys, magic is just real. Gladys has magic, and Gladys needs souls or something. Gladys wants to be alive, and to be alive, she needs to do this magic.
Well, and that is something that I noticed the second time. She gets visibly, you can tell with her hair, she gets a little healthier.
It's very Mother Gothel-y.
Throughout the... Yeah, but that's a good movie. But she gets physically healthier because she gets more hair after the kids show up.
Sure, yeah, there did seem to be... She looked like Deadpool Ryan Reynolds when she's laying in bed, but later it's like, oh, I've just got like a couple strands here and there.
I think it's like this just... They have that thorn bush, and she uses it for magic. And I'm glad that there wasn't... This is already a movie that is so full of stuff. Mostly well-placed stuff. I don't think there's too much fat that would be cut here. I saw some people complaining that, like, there was too much focus on Justine's relationship with Paul. Like, it feels like we forget about the kids in the beginning.
I think you can cut Paul out of the story and cut James out of the story.
Yeah.
They serve narrative utility.
But I like them. I think they're cool.
It's nice to get out of the that main plot for a second and just see what's going on, but they don't... They're kind of a dead end. They tell us, the audience, what's going on. They don't really tell Justine or Archer what's going on.
Nope.
It doesn't really move anything forward outside of, oh, now we, the audience, know a little bit more.
Well, they're there to be mini-bosses at the end.
Yeah.
But it's also, this is a movie that's really sad. Like, Justine doesn't just shoot her ex-lover, person that she probably still had feelings for, and just get over it. She, like, even before she goes upstairs to check on Alex, she's just, like, staring at him.
Well, that's, I think, if you change the amount of Paul stuff we have... That, who cares, you know? So we do need some amount of Paul stuff for there, like, to be a human reaction to that, but...
I guess I see your point.
Yeah.
You could have told this story without them. I really... See, okay, I think I figured out what I was trying to say about Paul earlier, which is the first scene with Justine, he seems, at first...
When they're in the bar?
When they're in the bar, like a nice... wise guy who knows Justine well and just wants the best for her. You don't know, oh, he's about to cheat on his wife with whom he's trying to have a child. And so that was interesting. That wasn't something that
one of the things, and I don't know, maybe it would have been nice to know stuff going in, but like my Columbo brain goes, Justine's like, hey, there's something wrong with your thumb. And I go, there's something wrong with his thumb. This will be important later to the mystery we're trying to solve about these children.
Yes.
Nope, not really. That was a thing that happens in like his own little arc, and then doesn't really matter anymore.
It's there for you to be like, oh, that's why he had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of this in here that I think is not tightly screwed into the main plot about the kids being missing. Like okay. Oh, no, go ahead.
So Paul's relationship with his wife,
Donna.
his wife's boss, who's his wife's father, who was also his boss. That has nothing to do with the main kid plot, outside of, hey, Archer's really upset and gonna be talking to the chief of police. Hey, Paul's boss is the chief of police. Oh, and Paul's boss is also his wife's father. That's something. But that, remember these children, that, like, is the main focus of the story, or at least what the movie really wants you to care about. All of this Paul stuff just kind of It's like, yeah, it makes sense that these characters have relationships because they all live in this town, but that doesn't all really help tell the missing kid story.
And I think maybe, alright, if I wanted to be a snob about it, I would say, well, these characters are here because they connect to the central theme of having stuff going on that's not obvious to the world. Although James's thing is pretty obvious to the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, in books, we talk about character-driven versus plot-driven. So if something is, like, not contributing to the plot, then the characters are taking the center stage, and that's not something that I have an issue with. I think a movie that is as plot-centered as this one, I don't want to call it a flaw. Yeah. I don't, because I can... Maybe there is a version of this movie in some other universe that doesn't have Paul or James, and it's more concise, but I don't know that it would be better.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, because there is shading that, Paul's wife's dad is also his boss. That is interesting. That is a thing he is dealing with. There would be glances there, and that does help texture the Paul character. Does that necessarily help tell the missing children story? No, but either you get a shorter movie or you get more shading for Paul.
I think this is, at heart, just a fun story. Would you agree that it's a fun movie to see?
I don't know. It's not fun in the sense that, like, I've got 3 hours. I do think I'm gonna watch this, like, on a Thursday or whatever. It's not like a Fantastic Mr. Fox, It's not like you put it on and you're
Mr. Fox.
You put it on and you're like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad I did this. It's an interesting movie. It's an enjoyable movie. I don't know if I'd call it a fun movie.
I guess by fun I mean entertaining.
Entertaining,
I find this to be
sure.
a very entertaining movie.
Sure, yeah.
And that, I think, is why there's so much, like, I guess the person who's knocking on the door in the beginning with Justine, and then she goes outside and finds the witch, like, we find out later that that's Archer, Josh Brolin's character.
Presumably,
but, like,
right?
He didn't need to be doing all that spooky tapping and then hiding and then banging. It's another one of those things that I think is just there. There are a lot of jump scares in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind the jump scares.
I thought...
Some are better than others.
Yeah, when I utched and Gladys was on the ceiling, and I was like, what?
Right.
And everyone was like,
right.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. I thought when James has finally made it back to his tent, and there's like this kind of slow pan across the trees, and we see Gladys waving, I thought that was infinitely more effective than... there's like a clown staring at Josh Brolin for like a couple seconds. That's weird.
My favorite scare from this movie is the one with the door. If I say the one with the door, do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's Justine. She's in her car. She's fallen asleep. And the door, like, it zooms in slow. It's very slow. It's very quiet. Zooms in on the door, and it opens. We don't see it we don't see anybody behind it. seconds of that. And then you see the blade first because it catches the light. And then the mom, like, slowly shambles out. It's silent.
Yeah, I guess that is the mom.
She's slowly...
looking back on that, I was like, was that Gladys? No. Yeah.
And then you see her going up to the car door. And then she goes off screen. Seconds pass.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the car door open. Seconds pass. And you could hear it in the theater around us. That was when other people were the most freaked out too, which I loved, because that's when I was the most freaked out in the first movie. And then you get this, like, they don't look like scissors when you see them. It looks like she's got
a big like meat cleaver
looks
or something.
like a knife.
Yeah.
And then you cut the hair and everyone's like, what is that? What is that? And then that's the end. That, like, that's the kind of shot that I wish I'd seen. I don't know if I wish I'd seen more of stuff like that. I think but also, this is not a movie that is subtle, right? They have that parasite thing on the board.
Yeah.
Like, they
and
have
Marcus
parasite,
is watching
like, 4 different
cordyceps
times.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus's husband's like, ew, that's gross.
And it ends with a bunch of screaming children tearing this clown lady limb from limb, literally, and we revel in the viscous
That must have been
gore
so
of
much
it.
fun too. If those were like kids running around, this would have been such a fun movie to do. Because half of it is just like Naruto running, and the other half is like, all right, now you Naruto run, and now there's like stunts. Like, Lil Matthew, you're gonna get to climb on top of this fence, and the whole fence is gonna fall down, and then everyone else like runs over, and but let's all be safe here. I think this would have been fun to do.
What do you think? How do you think of the way the movie handles its tone/tones?
It's a lot of back and forth.
Sometimes at the same time, which is wild.
That's where it gets a little muddy. It's like in this final bit, Josh Brolin has put Justine down, and he's gonna go run around, and now Josh Brolin, is looking for his son, who he loves, and we want to take this moment seriously, and he's like walking through this trail of carnage, and this woman's like, oh, there's a man in our house, and it's like, yeah, that's funny, but that's like,
he's looking for his son.
We were kind of locked in on this whole like kid mystery thing, and we want to see him find his son.
Or one that I think about is when we cut to Marcus after he has really horribly murdered his husband. Mm-hmm. And we haven't spent a lot of time with him and his husband, but they have these quirks that make us feel like they eat child food, they wear the Minnie and the Mickey t-shirts. I really believe in their relationship. And this is a character who we know cares deeply about the students. He's doing his best with Justine. He's in a shitty situation too. And his existence has been taken from him. And now we know he's been turned into a weapon. So this like weight is on you when you're watching this, like his face, and
his bulging eyes was pretty cool.
But people are going like, "What, dude? What the? Oh my god!" And it's funny, and like I want to laugh, but my hand is over my mouth and I can't. That I think is really cool. Actually, I don't think it's a fault of the movie. I think it's interesting that it was able to do that. Like when he gets hit by the car, you hear it in the audience. Some people are like, they laughed at that.
Yeah.
And because you have to like, when you're watching this movie, you have to decide if you're thinking of it as a comedy or as a horror movie. And that's something that I got differently this second watch, is the moment when she reaches for the second vodka. The first time I watching this movie, I'm like, oh god, poor Justine, she's really having a rough time. I mean, the first time I feel like that. The second time I'm like, oh, Justine, it's a setup and a punchline,
2 vodkas
right?
for you.
Which is cool. I don't think it's a perfect movie at all. There's a lot of stuff that like I ask, like, well, why didn't the parents' jobs wonder where they were? And like nitpicks like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
but
like
I don't care about that.
Larger world stuff that, but it's also like there's magic. So,
Oh, so for you, like supernatural stuff means you don't have to worry. I could see that.
So I thought this was gonna be, I knew like nothing about this movie going in, but when did I start worrying or start being like, oh, I guess there's magic? I guess, well, not even like all the way through Archer. Who's after Archer?
Well, let
Paul?
me ask, let's do a preliminary question first. What were you thinking it might be in the Justine act before anything is really revealed at all?
So in all the Justine stuff, I was thinking, okay, this is a mystery. We need to find out where these kids are. Here's our setup, and it's an interesting setup. I think the movie throws a lot at you at once with this child narrator.
Well, so okay.
Well, quick question. As a teacher, do you ever show up? Are your students there and you show up after them? That seemed weird.
Only when we have meetings, because they have homeroom, and our meetings take place during homeroom. So my co-teacher is supposed to be there with them. They're not unsupervised in the class.
Yeah.
But it's also something that isn't supposed to happen, but probably could.
Yeah.
I don't think an entire classroom full of kids would be there without a teacher.
Teacher Justine, who cares a lot about her job. That's one of the things where before I'm worried about magic and just kind of being loose with plot construction. I was like, it's weird that it's weird that this teacher showed up late. Oh, Justine really cares about her students. It's weird that she's showing up late.
I think the reason that's like that, though, is because it's a lot more effective in a single shot to have the teacher look and scan across the empty tables than for her to sit there and we see, I don't know,
is everyone?
A time, time is sped up and she's like, oh, clock. Alex, where is it,
Yeah.
I will excuse something for the gut feeling that it gives.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about before that?
Magic and what I was feeling.
What you thought, what might be the cause?
This is when, I forget when I asked you this, but I was like, what happened? When did we cut away from Justine? I think it was either in Paul or James, where I was like, I need to recontextualize what this movie is doing.
Somebody from this movie is driving around here.
I'm just doing this. There's screeching cars back there. You probably can't hear that, Videoland.
And it was right after the haircut scene.
Yeah, was that right after the haircut scene? That was so good. But when you're in Paul/James and you're like, okay, so now this is a movie about this and it's about police brutality, kind of. I'm gonna unplug this camera. You
always wonder when there are cops in a movie, ooh, which side are we going to be taking here?
Well, not even so much as that, but it's okay, this is a character decision. Oh, I'm Paul. Ooh, dang, I punched this kid in the head. Ooh, I gotta take this thing out. Oh, now I'm talking to my boss about it. Hey, I see this guy again. I'm gonna unplug my camera and go beat him up. When you're in there and then the movie's okay, and now there's magic.
And then James goes down the stairs, and you just see the kids.
Yeah.
And unintentionally or not, that was a moment of comedy for me because I'm like, oh yeah, this movie's about missing kids.
Yeah,
there they are.
That's what we're doing.
There
now.
they
are. That is the plot of this movie.
How did you feel when they were just in someone's basement?
That's not a fun mystery anymore. Or at least
I saw some people were they thought it was anticlimactic. And
I don't know if I would say that. The movie was the color scaling was kind of weird. I think there's a lot of people in there.
All right.
I'm guessing those are kids.
So this is something, okay. I watched my first version, my first viewing, in this cool XD theater, pristine giant screen. The chairs shake you during a jump scare. I could see everything extremely well. I go home. I watched the Red Letter Media review. They're saying the movie is too dark. And I'm like, the movie's not too dark. I'm going through the comments. The comments are it was your theater. Your theater was too dark. I'm like, yeah, it was their theater.
This theater?
This theater was too dark.
Too dark.
And if there's a decent chance that your movie will be too dark in the wrong theater, maybe you should bump up the lights. a little bit.
But I mean, play around with it. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker.
That's a kind of thing where I was like, but that's a minor thing.
I was thinking about that. I was like, oh no, Red Letter Media was right. Again. You can see I did extensive research. You know the narrator, the little girl narrator?
Yes.
In the script, her name is Maddie.
Is she?
Not a character.
Okay, yeah. Nope. Having that as our opening and closing, especially the opening, where like, all right, this is the setup. This is what we're doing. It's all being explained to me. All right, I'm trying to keep up here with all these details, and it's like, all right, they're in a basement.
I wish that
they're catatonic.
That you had seen the poster that I had just given you, that like 2-sentence summary ahead of time. It's about kids that go missing. They all belong to one class, and nobody knows why. Because when I went to see this with the people that I went to see it with, we knew ahead of time, and we were talking about, well, what do you think it is? So, like, I had time to, like, formulate my ideas about what it might be. Is it a government thing? Is it a science fiction thing? Is it a supernatural thing? I wasn't expecting a witch thing. I'm always pleasantly surprised when a witch shows up in media, even if she's just the most heinous creature with no regard for human life whatsoever. I like that, because it's fun. Especially when she dresses crazy. Oh...
She did really pop.
Gladys might be a Halloween costume for me
really
in the
popped.
future.
I could see that being fun.
Maybe if I weren't a teacher. There's so many things I have to be worried about as a teacher, as this movie demonstrates. I forget if I was on a roll or if I had finished.
Gladys, plot construction, magic, Red Letter Media colorization.
Ahead of time, I think I even said out loud, because we got dinner before, I was like, the weapons have got to be the kids, right? So, like, we had time to think about, okay, I like the title of this movie. Especially, so 2 things that I want to talk about that I was thinking about. Kids run with their arms out like this. They do that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I remember doing that.
And when they do that, it's like this innocent, fun airplane arm. It's a child thing, right?
Yeah.
So they run out into the street, and that's kind of how the movie starts. And there's a George Harrison song playing underneath it. I don't remember what it's called.
It did sound Beatley.
But it's like the tone of that moment feels like beautiful to me.
Yeah.
It's just them. They look free. They're kids running. Kids run and have fun all the time. And when you see, like, it's the shot of, like, all of them, like, kind of not spliced together, but, like, one kid's back, another kid's back, another kid's back. Like, there's just this kid. And then it cuts to the title card and it says weapons.
It was a crisp blue. I like that.
It gave me chills this time. Because the kids are the weapons. There's this, like, almost carefree, like, magical moment, and then it's weapons.
Yeah. Kind of like the Home Alone font.
I guess.
Or I guess for Home Alone color.
Oh, and there's a triangle in the O for
what
weapons.
was that for?
Ian was like, I thought that was going to be for Illumi. I don't know. Maybe there's some things in here that are just misdirection, like the black throwing up, like the door, like the dream stuff. I don't know.
There's a lot of flavor to this movie. There's a lot of like accents going on.
I guess my short description about viewing this movie 2 times is the second time you watch it, you realize that it's messier than it felt at the end of the first one. But I really like the messiness. There's nothing in here that I would take out because I found all of it to be very effective. Like, affective. Like, this movie got so many different kinds of reactions out of me. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was scary. I thought it was so tragic when, like, somehow the detail about Matthew being kind of a bully.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. We know that his dad, Archer, never tells him he loves him. So, like, tiny little detail, like...
There's a lot of color like that.
Why people are the way they are,
about this
that
movie.
you don't
It's a pro
see.
and a con.
And I like its messiness.
Yeah.
So you see why I saw this movie and I was like, just for that last scene with the kids running through the glass, I needed you to see this.
Well, I'm glad I saw it. It was,
I'm glad that
worthwhile.
you liked it. I was worried for a second there because you were not laughing at all the times that everyone was laughing.
That was the thing, because I was like, what is this movie doing? We're playing a Beatles song and kids are running outside, and okay, we're all upset at this teacher, and this teacher's got some problems, alright? Oh, let me adjust. Oh, there was a clown or something. All right, I guess that's like a horror thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a dream, but it's also a dream sequence. So who knows? All right, and we're following this guy, and all right, he's also having a bad time. And okay, another dream sequence. Sure, he can't love us. All right, there's another. Okay, now we're following Paul, so it's like a layered narrative. And maybe this is when I was like, what were we doing at the end of Justine's? Because when you're in the middle of Paul and James, all the Justine stuff felt like hours ago.
I guess we could safely say this is a maximalist movie, perhaps.
Wasn't really, I don't know. I wish there were more...
So much going on.
Flourishes.
So much on the screen.
Like, I wish there was more on the screen. When Gladys is in the woods waving, I'm like, that is scary. That is spooky. I know what kind of movie I'm in now. You have to wait a clean hour to get that. And it's a lot of...
If you don't like the dream sequence stuff.
If you don't like the dream sequence stuff, but...
It's so hot in here.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. There's a lot in this movie. There is a lot to like about this movie. I think that is very safe to say.
It's very safe to say.
You know, just because this is the last one we did, this is not a fun movie. Sonic 3, that is a fun movie. This is not a fun movie. They're both entertaining. This one's probably working. Would you rather see this than Sonic 3 again?
I'm the kind of freak. This is way more fun for me than Sonic 3.
Interesting.
Sonic 3...
I would rather own Sonic 3 than this movie. Granted, I'd rather own this movie than Sonic's 1 and or 2, but... I'm wondering... This is like... You're watching it with your friends, and you're hoping some of your friends haven't seen it before. So this is a good movie to, like, introduce someone to and get a reaction to. Like, you're watching this in a big group, and it's like a kind of a Halloween party, and, you know, maybe you're making jokes about what's going on.
Gotta be close friends, though.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a movie you recommend to just anybody.
No. Because you're really putting yourself out there by recommending this movie to just anyone. You're, like, saying, you will like this.
It's about missing children.
Yeah.
And the film centers on
like,
child
the first
abuse.
third, and the second third is like, oh, yeah, never mind, they're in this basement. Huh.
I like the weird texture. I like the crunchiness. I like the confusion. When I watch this movie, I'm thinking about what I'm watching. Like, and I'm thinking about the way I'm reacting to it. That doesn't really happen when I watch a Sonic 3.
That's fair.
Unless I, like, try to meta-ironize it, which is why I ended up talking so much in that video about, like... What was I talking about? The unintentional comedy of just the way these freaks look.
Yeah, and the way that Shadow can't look at himself and be like...
Shadow can't know that he looks like that.
Yeah. This movie doesn't really have that, but I understood the plot of Sonic 3 from beginning to end with no problems. This one... For better or for worse, it has a lot more going on, and I think it also probably has more story fat than Sonic 3 does.
And it's very purposely told out of order.
Yeah.
Like, I think I wouldn't struggle exactly, but I would have to sit down with, like, a pencil and paper to figure out what happens in what exact order in this movie, which I think is cool.
Yeah, there's something to that. I like
the fiber.
How different all of our characters are, and I like how they have their own different narrative utility. Justine really cares about her kids. She cares too much about her kids. She will poke around this house. She's not going to go inside, but she will call Marcus. Archer really cares about his son. Archer is having trouble at work. Because he really cares about his son.
Oh, Archer, yes.
Because he really cares about his son.
He ordered the wrong paint.
he ordered the wrong paint, and I
Wrong
guess
wood?
he wrote witch on her car. That's not explicit, but that seemed like a weird thing for him to do. That's just vindictive and doesn't do anything.
I think he was vindictive. You saw him in that meeting. And then it very purposely cuts back to the paint cans.
Yeah.
After we've seen, like,
I think that's
he's already
definitely
followed
implied.
her.
Yeah, I was just like, the fact that I didn't see it explicitly painted out by like those people holding hands or something I was like, because I'm in mystery mode when we're still in that part of the movie. I'm like, is this going to be a relevant detail? The fact that we know the paint cans are in this car, but we don't actually see him do it.
Don't need to.
But he really cares about his son.
We know enough about the way he feels that for me, I'm like, oh yeah, it was him.
Yeah, he's going to confront Justine, and when he goes to confront Justine, they become homies. Except, if I am beefing with this person, and then we're working on this child mystery together, and I'm like choking them out, and then
Marcus.
Choking
who out?
When I'm Archer.
Oh, after
choking.
He's under the spell.
Yeah, he's under the spell, and then I'm no longer under the spell, and he's like, alright, I guess I'll just drop you. Then he just leaves. I thought that was funny. I thought that was like, that's interesting. Not even like an I'm sorry. It's like, I can't care.
Well, this is something that I came out of the movie the first time thinking was a plot hole, and then after, like, thinking about it, I think actually does make sense. There are varying levels to which people recover from the spell that Gladys puts on them. And I think it is directly proportional to how long you've been under the spell. We see that, like, the day that the spell has been put on Alex's parents, they're still able to, like, talk to him. His dad says, hey, Axeman, how was school? He doesn't say it with a whole lot of fervor, but he can say it. And then the longer you're under the spell, the less you're able to come back to yourself, which I think explains why, Archer, who was only under the spell for, 45 seconds probably in total, just goes right back to being himself. And the kids who are under it for a month, like the narrator Maddie in the end says, we know 2 years have passed since this happened, and only just now some of the kids are starting to talk again.
Yeah.
I want Alex's parents to come back.
I think they probably will, though. Like, if it's just a time thing.
I don't know. The magic is so mysterious.
It's not concrete, which I think does make it fun. But it also lets them wave away a lot of plot conveniences. But, that's fine. But getting back to narrative utility, I like that Josh Brolin is going to yell at Justine, and now we have the scene, and now what's Marcus doing here? What? And then Paul is like a lot of glue, basically. Paul is the glue of this story, in the best way possible. Like, Paul doesn't really do a whole lot to help find the kids, but he's not a detective. But he's going to chase down James, and James is a nut. He's going to break into a house. He's going to start stealing knives and forks. He's going to be like, whoa, what's this? And he's going to find these kids, and he's going to be like, I'm about to make $50,000. Hey.
That poor girl's iPad and her little cat headphones.
Yep.
R.I.P. That's the real tragedy of this movie.
I like the characters we have. I like how they work together and how they tell the story.
Me too.
It's a good movie.
I think if I thought about it more, I'd be able to come up with, this movie is about X. Like, a word or phrase that would summarize, people have stuff going on, and that's why they are the way they are sometimes. You don't see all of it. But I don't even know that that's as central as I feel like it is.
Does Gladys have stuff going on outside of just being evil?
She's sick. She doesn't want to be sick anymore. I have this tiny little theory because she tells Marcus that Alex's parents have consumption. And a point is made that, nobody has consumption in America, at least. Tuberculosis anymore. It's really old-fashioned. So I'm like, maybe she's really, really old, and she's like Mother Gothling. She's trying to stay young by sucking life essence, which is why she's the parasite of the movie. I think I'm most interested in the interpretation that she's just a person. And let's be clear, if magic were real in the way that it's real in this movie, it would be pretty evil to use it, at least to use it the way that she does.
Yes.
Like, absolute power corrupts absolutely. But I don't want to analyze Gladys too much. She's evil, she sucks, she's a clown, she's campy, she's ridiculous. I don't know if she's even campy. People always tell people that they're using that word wrong. She's there to fucking scare you.
Yeah.
And it works.
It's just kind of funky when you have Gladys where you're like, they're campy, they're fun, they're evil, that's just part of the pulp of the story.
I don't even know that she's fun. That fork scene sucks.
But then over here it's like, well, people really have stuff going on, and it's school shooting.
This is the way that my brain chews through media, whether I want it to or not.
It's not a clean theme. But, worse things have been said of better movies. Is that a good sentence?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Meaner things have been said of worse.
Yeah. It's a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. I would watch it again.
Is there anybody in your life that you would recommend it to?
I think someone recommended it to me.
Besides me?
Today/yesterday. I was gonna text them, and then we were already in the car, so I will probably text them tomorrow if I remember. It was either one or one other person that I work with. Yep. Alright. What would I recommend this to? A former roommate of mine would probably really like this movie.
Because I even think there are probably some people who like horror that this wouldn't be for. There are definitely some people who like comedy that this would not be for.
It's a funky movie. It's interesting.
I would recommend it to anyone who likes the idea of watching 17, 8-year-olds chase a witch, destroying houses as they go, and it's reveled in and it's cathartic. If you're willing to put up with some stuff that helps build that catharsis, I think this is a movie for you.
That end is very fun. Yeah.
If there's anything else I have to say about it, I don't remember it right now.
Yeah. Alright. Nothing else? Yeah. Nothing else?
I like that it's called Weapons.
I like that you have to watch the movie in order to understand why it's called that. It's not like Missing Kids. Magic Missing. Missing Kids, but it's magic.
It's not a very clean movie. Because the kids are the weapons, but they're the weapons because they're under a spell. And they're under a spell because a witch moved into their classmate's house. I don't think it maps cleanly onto any of the big topics that you usually, like, if you hear about elevated horror, you would think, oh, well, this is about a thing. This is about anxiety. This is about, violence in schools.
Yeah.
I think it's just about a witch who wants to stay alive and shows up at a town, and if a witch showed up in your town and did stuff that's not supposed to be possible, I don't know, how would you react?
Yeah.
How would you react? Hopefully not by blaming your kid's teacher. It's hard being a teacher, dude.
It's weird that he writes the word witch.
Because it's about a witch, man.
But he doesn't know that at that point. That was one of the things where it's like, why would you, like...
Witches take kids.
The word bitch is right there, though. And that seems like the easy aspersion to cast. Like, oh, woman, oh, I don't like you. Bitch. But witch is like...
The movie's about a witch.
Ugh, but...
It's one of those things, so you can go back next time you watch it and be like, oh my god, there is a witch. But it's not her. It's over there.
I don't know, that seems kind of... That's the kind of thing where it's like... What? What are we doing?
We're having fun.
Yeah, you're having fun.
We're having fun. Honk, honk. Not about a clown, though.
Not about a clown. She really pops in those dream sequences, though. And in that grass field. That was really nice. I like that.
I just want Matthew to know his dad loves him.
I mean, he probably does.
I don't know, man.
I guess if he has to wait 2 years, I mean, there's like a whole lot of housing issues he's gonna have until Matthew's talking again. But hopefully after Matthew's like first words, he's like, "Oh, I love you, by the way." Or maybe he's saying that as Matthew's catatonic.
Well, it says in the narrator and on the poster that the kids never come back.
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
I think they do, though. Like, the kids do return.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say, like, oh, not their personalities or whatever, but
Yeah.
if nothing else, Matthew, like, turns and looks at his dad.
That's true, he does.
And then
he recognizes
Maddie,
his own
the
name.
narrator, is like, oh, and they're better.
She says they start talking.
Yeah. What was did she say 2 years later?
Yes, in the beginning. She said, this is a story about something that happened in my town 2 years ago.
Okay. So, yeah, the kids come back. That was my reading.
That's your interpretation?
That's my interpretation. And if the kids can because it's magic, so why not? Like, if my goal is to give myself the most fulfilling narrative possible based on what the movie gave to me, the kids come back. Eventually, Alex's parents come back, and it's like, magic is real, but it's also, it's not that big of a deal. Just don't let strangers into your homes, and don't let people cut your hair, and,
don't fall asleep in front of people's homes.
Don't fall asleep in front of people's homes.
Even if it's a kid you teach and you're worried about him. You're right to be worried, but not that way.
If someone cuts your husband's hair, immediately call 911.
Well, he was trying. Didn't do it fast enough.
Yeah.
One thing that was cool that I noticed the second time, that beautiful tray of delicious food that Marcus's husband, whose name I'm not sure we ever learn, I'm sure it's in the script, but I didn't read that far, prepares for him. You're listening to the voiceover from the parasite thing about the ants and the cordyceps, and the line is, this is a moment when all self-control has been lost, or something like that. And I'm like, ooh, because she got the ribbon.
It's dumb to say that I don't like the way the magic works in this movie. I don't like the way the magic works in this movie.
Well, how do you wish it were different?
It would be, I think, there's a nice mechanical tactiliness, that's not a real word, tactility of, oh, well, these are the rules, she needs to find these things, and if she finds these things, and then she leads on, and then she snaps it, that's fine. But when you're at the end, when you're at the end, and Alex is breaking the stick, it only works for the children, it doesn't work for anyone else. Yeah. I was like, but does he need the bell? Like, there's just a lot of stuff. Some of it is cleanly explained so you can understand what's going on. Other stuff is like, what are we doing here? And I think you could simplify the story, maybe to its detriment, if she just showed up and was like, hey guys, I'm Gladys. I have your kids. I'm in your house. They're in the basement. Hey, you're under my control. And then you just give Alex the wand.
Like, she's at the meeting with the parents. Justine's like, I know we all want answers, so I brought in a very special guest.
But then it's also like, well then, Gladys, if you can do all that, why don't you just take over the whole town,
Why do you think she never hurt Alex?
This is where it's like, well, why didn't the police find their car?
Find whose car?
Find Paul's car. Like, I don't think she hurt Alex so that Alex would keep going to school because that's her cover, but her cover also requires Paul to stay there for a number of days, which I guess we don't know, but I would imagine if Paul doesn't show up at work tomorrow, which I think we can definitely say it's at least one day, someone would be like, hey, Paul never came home last night, and his car's here outside of this house. Yeah, and also...
She told Alex they were going to leave the next day.
I mean, I think there's, like, a lot of timing stuff like that, where I think a lot of it is cleaner if it's just like, I'm magic and I'm all-powerful, and I have this all-powerful wand. It's a nitpick, I'm willing to admit that.
This is a movie that you won't enjoy if you nitpick it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Plus, it's not a wand, it's a branch from her thorny tree.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If her thorny tree from a branch that she keeps snapping with and doing, like, salt lines, if that was just...
the salt lines in the very end of the movie.
Putting his little toe over it. That was nice. That was like, okay, cool, that's a nice shot. Crossing the threshold. Ooh. Yep. Alright.
Am I allowed to say I want to go to bed now?
Yeah, I think you're allowed to say you want to go to bed now. We gotta go to bed now. Good night, everyone.
Night.